My name is Lucius Aurelius, and I was born a Roman. I grew up in a city of marble walls and iron swords. My father was a soldier, his father too. In Rome, you do not choose your life. It is given to you like armor, heavy and cold. When I turned 17, they gave me a sword and sent me to war. For years I marched across lands I had never heard of. I saw blood in the snow, fire in the skies, and silence in the eyes of dying men. I forgot the sound of laughter. I forgot softness. I forgot myself. Then everything changed. We were ordered to cross the eastern desert, chasing rebels who had risen against Roman rule. The sun was cruel, the wind was dry. Sand bit at our eyes and throat. My skin burned under my armor, but we marched like machines. After weeks, we reached a small village, hidden between dunes and olive trees. It was not on any map. It was peaceful, too peaceful. "Burn it," my commander said. "But there are no soldiers here," I replied. "Then it will be easy." That night, fires swallowed homes. Children screamed. The sky turned red. I couldn't breathe. I walked away from the flames, my heart heavy with guilt I did not understand. That's when I saw her. She was standing alone, pouring water into a clay pot near a well. A white scarf covered her head, and her eyes looked like the night sky, deep, calm, endless. She looked at me and said, "You look tired, soldier." I blinked. I had not heard kindness in years. I am," I replied. "You should drink," she said, pointing to the pot. I didn't move. I was afraid of her, of myself. "What is your name?" she asked. "Lucius," I whispered. She smiled. "I am Aaliyah." A name like a prayer. That night I could not sleep. Her voice echoed in my mind, her calmness, her strength. I had never met a woman like her. The next night, I returned to the well. She was there, waiting. "You again," she said, smiling gently. I sat beside her, with every broken home, every tear on Aaliyah's face. That night, I ran to her. "We have to leave," I said. "They know." She looked at me. "Where would we go?" "Anywhere. Away from fire, away from war." She was silent. "Aaliyah," I whispered, "I want to be with you." Her eyes filled with tears. "I am Muslim. You are Roman." "I don't care. But the world will. I only care about you." She took my hand. "Then meet me at the olive tree after tomorrow's sunset." I nodded. "I will be there." The next day was the longest of my life. I prepared to run. I left my sword, I left my armor, I left my name. At sunset, I walked to the olive tree. She was there. She wore a soft green dress. Her scarf flowed in the wind. "You came," she said. "I would walk through fire to find you." She placed something in my hand, an olive branch. "In my faith," she said, "this means peace." I held it close. "And what does your heart say?" I asked. "It says yes." I leaned in. Our foreheads touched. In that moment, there was no Rome, no war, no sword, only us. But fate is cruel to those who dream. Suddenly, I heard shouts. Soldiers, Roman soldiers. They had followed me. I turned to Aaliyah. "Run!" She froze. Before I could move, they grabbed us. "A traitor!" one shouted. My commander appeared. "So this is your secret," he spat. "A rebel girl?" "She is not a rebel," I shouted. He slapped me. "You forget your place." They dragged her away. She did not scream. She looked at me and whispered, "Remember the olive tree." I was thrown in a dark cell. No light, no water. Days passed, or maybe just hours. I remembered her eyes, her voice, her hands in mine. What had I done? Was love a crime? I heard a sound. The door opened. A boy entered, maybe 15. "I am Sammy," he said, "her brother." I sat up, weak. "Is she alive?" "For now," he said. "They are taking her east." "Why?" "They call her a spy." "She is not." "I know," he said, "but they don't care." "I have to save her." Sammy nodded. "Then be ready," he said.
Sammy glanced at me. "You really love her?"
I nodded. "She loves you too. She prayed for you, even when they beat her." My heart cracked. We traveled for 3 days. By the time we reached the fortress, I was tired, sunburnt, and hungry, but I had never been more awake. The fortress stood tall, made of black stone and iron gates. Guards in red stood at the towers, sharp-eyed and cruel. I knew this place. I had trained here. I knew its walls, its secrets, its weaknesses. "We'll wait for nightfall," I told Sammy. At sunset, we crawled through the rocks. I pointed at a narrow path under the wall. "A tunnel runs below, used for escaping fires. I'll go in." "What about me?" Sammy asked. "You wait here. If I don't return by dawn, I will come anyway," he said. "Brave." I smiled. "I see Aaliyah in your eyes." He didn't reply, but I saw a tear slip down his cheek. Inside, the tunnel was dark, but I knew every turn. When I reached the prison block, I wore the hood of a guard I had knocked out earlier. My dagger stayed hidden. I passed 2 men. One said, "Did you hear? The girl tried to escape." My heart raced. "Cut her hair!" The other laughed. "Teach her shame!" I wanted to kill them both, but I walked past, calm as stone. Then I found her. She sat in a cell, bruised, weak, but not broken. Her hands were tied. Her lips moved silently, a prayer. "Aaliyah," I whispered. Her eyes shot open. She stared at me. Tears filled her eyes. "Lucius?" I dropped the hood and bent beside the bars. "I came for you." She tried to smile but broke down. "I thought they killed you," she cried. "I'd rise from the grave to find you," I said. She pressed her fingers through the bars. I kissed them. "I'll get you out," I promised. But before I could break the lock, footsteps, voices. I had no time. I kissed her hands one last time. "Tonight, I'll return for you. Be ready." She nodded. I disappeared back into the tunnel. That night, Sammy and I waited. At midnight, we returned, but something was wrong. The fortress was louder, guards shouting, horses running. "What's happening?" Sammy asked. "They know," I whispered. "They're moving her." We followed a torchlight trail into the canyon. There she was, chained between two horses, dragged like a traitor. A soldier shouted, "Move! She dies at dawn!" I couldn't breathe. They were taking her to the cliff, the execution cliff. I turned to Sammy. "We stop them now." He nodded. We threw rocks from above. A guard fell. I leapt onto the path, slashing with my dagger. I stabbed one in the leg. Sammy threw sand into another's eyes, but there were too many. They caught us both. Sammy screamed. They kicked him down. A fist hit my face, then blackness.
No swords, no army, no time. Only love.
Suddenly, the cell door opened. It was not a soldier. It was my old friend, Marcus. "Lucius," he said, stepping inside. "You fool." "Kill me," I said, "but let her go." He looked at Aaliyah, then at me. "You love her?" "With all I am." He sighed. "This is madness." "I know." He tossed a key at my feet. 1 hour. Go west. I never saw you. I stared in disbelief. "Why?" I asked. "You once saved me," he said. "In Gaul, you carried me through fire. This is my debt." I took the key. My hands trembled. "Aaliyah," I whispered, "we're free." We ran, through tunnels, through fields, through wind. Sammy was waiting with a stolen horse. We rode into the dark. For 3 days we hid in a cave near the sea. Aaliyah slowly healed. I cleaned her wounds with seawater. She told me stories. I listened. We didn't speak of the past. We only spoke of tomorrow. On the 5th morning, I sat beside her. The ocean blue danced before us. "I have no name anymore," I said. She looked at me. "I left Rome. I left everything." She placed her hand over mine. "Then take mine." "What?" "My name, my path, my God." I stared at her. "You would give me that?" She nodded. I looked at the sky. "I don't know how to pray." She smiled. "Then just begin with Bismillah." I repeated the word. She closed her eyes. "Lucius," she whispered. "Yes, we are safe now." I nodded, but far away, behind the trees, a shadow moved. A spy had seen us, and death was coming. We thought we had escaped. We thought love had finally won. But the world was not ready for us. A Roman soldier and a Muslim girl. And peace, it seemed, was only a dream. 3 days after we fled the fortress, we hid near the sea, inside a quiet cave. Sammy brought us food, figs, and a warm cloth. Aaliyah smiled again, though her eyes were tired. Each morning she prayed by the waves. Each night we laid under the stars, her head on my chest, my fingers in her hair. "Do you think the world will let us be?" I once asked.
"I'll never let go," I promised. At dawn they came, 30 soldiers, all in red. Among them, my old friend Marcus, who had once helped us escape, but his eyes were cold now. He rode forward and said, "Lucius, don't make this harder." I stood in front of Aaliyah, dagger drawn. "You'll have to kill me first." He nodded. I hoped it wouldn't come to this. He raised his hand. The archers pulled their bows. Aaliyah stepped beside me. She wasn't afraid. She looked at Marcus and said, "We are only guilty of love. Is that such a crime?" Marcus didn't answer. She held my hand tightly. I closed my eyes, ready. Then, a whistle, an order. Arrows flew. I felt no pain, but beside me, Aaliyah gasped. I turned. An arrow had struck her shoulder. She fell into my arms. "Aaliyah!" "I'm okay," she whispered, but blood spread fast. "No, no, no, stay with me." She touched my face. "Lucius, pray with me, just once." "I don't know how." She smiled weakly. "Just say, La ilaha illallah." I repeated after her, voice trembling. She exhaled, a slow, peaceful breath, and her eyes closed. I screamed, my heart shattered. I looked up at Marcus. She was the purest thing in this world. He turned his face away. They took her body, wrapped it in white. I fought. I begged, but they dragged me away. Sammy held me, weeping. "She's gone," I whispered. "No," he said. "She lives in you now." Weeks passed. I was taken to Rome, put on trial for treason, sentenced to death. But the night before the hanging, something happened. A letter came, from Marcus. They buried her under the olive tree. I could not let them throw her away like a rebel. I thought you should know. Inside the letter was her scarf, the same one I had once kept. I escaped that night. How? I'll never tell. I traveled for weeks, through deserts, through forests, all to reach that hill. And when I stood before the olive tree again, I fell to my knees. There was her grave, simple, soft, carved in the stone, Aaliyah bint Khadijah. She lived in truth. She loved in light. I stayed there, day after day. I talked to her. I told her stories. I asked for forgiveness, and I prayed. Yes, me, the Roman who once didn't believe. I whispered the words she once taught me, and with each prayer, I felt her. One day, Sammy found me there. He had grown taller, stronger. He brought a young girl with him. "My sister," he said. "She wants to hear your story." So I told her about Rome, about love, about the olive tree, about Aaliyah. Years passed. I never left that hill. They buried me beside her, under the olive tree. Our graves face the same sunrise. Our names carved in the same stone. And even today, if you go to that hill and listen to the wind through the leaves, you will hear it, soft and sweet, like a secret, a whisper beneath the olive tree. "Lucius, I never left you."